All right, welcome to your deep dive on AI and the Global South. We're going to be looking at this fascinating article from TATANKA. It's called AI and the Global South, Bridging Gaps, Building Futures. And, it really dives into how AI is being used in regions that are often overlooked when we talk about technology to not just, create opportunities, but also empower communities that are, facing unique challenges.
It really is a shift in perspective, I think, when you look at AI advancements. We often think Silicon Valley, but this article, it shines a light on the really incredible innovations happening in places like, even Mauritius, where AI is being used to tackle limited access to education, healthcare, even economic opportunities.
One story that really just stuck with me is about this computer scientist, 𝗧𝗔𝗧𝗓. She saw that farmers in her village were struggling with these unpredictable weather patterns. And so she decided to create this app. It's called 𝗧𝗧𝗏, and it uses AI to help them. So the app, it analyzes weather data and provides farmers with insights on, when to plant, when to harvest. And the results are incredible. They've seen a 30% increase in crop yield. Isn't that amazing?
That's incredible. And I think what's really interesting here is that, the story with 𝗧𝗓, it's not just about the technical capabilities of AI, but it's really about how we can apply AI to these hyper-local challenges. So just imagine the ripple effects of a 30% increase in crop yield. I mean, we're talking about greater food security, increased income for these farmers, and, just overall economic growth for the entire community.
It's really just amazing. And, this is just one example. The article highlights how AI is being used to democratize access to essential resources across the entire global South.
Yeah.
Think about AI-powered language translation tools. I mean, those could make educational content accessible in native languages, which just opens up this whole world of knowledge to people who were previously excluded.
Right. It's like we're breaking down this language barrier in education. And, the impact, I think, goes beyond just traditional schooling. You can use these tools for vocational training, skill development, even community-based learning initiatives.
It makes you wonder if this could lead to, a surge in literacy rates or even, a more skilled workforce in these regions.
I think it certainly has the potential to do that. And it's not just education either. The article talks about how AI is being applied to healthcare in the Global South. So specifically, it highlights these AI diagnostic tools that are being used in rural areas where access to doctors is limited.
Yeah, and these tools aren't just providing, basic diagnoses. Some of them are sophisticated enough to actually analyze medical images and detect diseases like cancer in their early stages, which is huge.
Huge, because early detection is absolutely key to successful treatment. And these AI tools, they're effectively extending the reach of specialized medical expertise, which has traditionally been concentrated in urban centers.
And that kind of raises a question. Could this wider access to healthcare lead to longer lifespans? A healthier population in these regions?
It's definitely a possibility, but it also makes you think about the infrastructure needed to support these AI tools. Things like reliable internet access, power supply,
Right.
and trained personnel who can actually operate and maintain this equipment.
So it's AI is a really powerful tool,
Yeah.
but it's not like a magic bullet. Its effectiveness is tied to all these other factors.
Exactly. And the article, I think it underscores that implementation of AI in the Global South. It's not just about technology. It's about addressing these systemic challenges.
So AI is a tool that can be used to amplify the existing efforts and resources.
Precisely. Now, moving on from healthcare, the article goes on to discuss AI's transformative potential in agriculture, which is a cornerstone of so many economies in the Global South.
And it goes beyond just, stories like 𝗧𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓. The article really dives into how AI-powered smart farming technologies are being used across different regions. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so these technologies are really utilizing a variety of AI techniques, like machine learning and computer vision, to provide farmers with this data-driven insight. So for example, AI can actually analyze satellite imagery to monitor crop health, predict weather patterns, and even recommend the best time to plant and harvest.
So it's like having a virtual agricultural advisor right in your pocket, guiding farmers on how to maximize their yields.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And these AI-powered systems can also help farmers adapt to climate change, which is particularly important in regions that are vulnerable to things like droughts and floods.
Yeah, I remember reading about an AI system in India. It's being used to predict monsoon patterns with incredible accuracy. And this information is vital for farmers to make informed decisions about what to plant and when.
Absolutely. And this data-driven approach, it not only just improves crop yields, it helps optimize resource use, which leads to more sustainable farming practices.
It really does sound like these technologies have the potential to revolutionize the agricultural landscape in the global south, leading to greater food security and economic empowerment for these farmers.
I completely agree. And that economic empowerment is another area where AI is making a significant impact, especially when we look at financial inclusion.
Mhm. Yeah, the article talks about AI's role in microfinance, and this is particularly relevant in the global south because so many people there lack access to traditional banking services.
That's right. And so AI is being used to assess creditworthiness for individuals who might not have a traditional credit history. And that opens up doors for entrepreneurs in remote areas to secure funding and start businesses.
I mean, it's just amazing to think that AI could be the key to unlocking economic opportunities for millions of people who have been excluded from the financial system.
It really is a powerful tool for financial inclusion. But it also comes with some challenges. We have to think about ensuring fairness and transparency in these AI-driven credit scoring systems. That's crucial.
It makes sense. I mean, we need to make sure that these systems don't accidentally perpetuate existing biases
Sure.
or exclude certain groups from accessing financial services.
Exactly. Responsible development and deployment are key. And speaking of responsible development, the article also explores how AI is modernizing traditional industries in the global south, like manufacturing and craft work.
Yeah, that section I thought was really interesting. It talks about how AI-driven tools are helping businesses optimize their supply chains, which can be a major challenge for small and medium-sized enterprises in developing countries.
It's true. I mean, AI can analyze massive amounts of data to identify bottlenecks, predict demand fluctuations, and suggest ways to just improve efficiency and reduce costs.
It's like having a real-time logistics expert,
Yeah.
helping these businesses navigate all the complexities of the global market.
Right. And these tools can also help businesses identify new markets for their products. The article gives an example of an AI system in Africa that analyzes global trade data to identify potential export opportunities for local producers,
Right.
producers of handcrafted goods.
That's amazing. So AI is not just about automation and efficiency. It's also about creating new opportunities for businesses in the global south to connect with the global marketplace.
Precisely. And it's not just about economic impact. The article also explores AI's role in preserving cultural heritage, which is so vital in the global south.
Yeah, I was so fascinated by the examples of AI being used to digitize and restore ancient manuscripts and artifacts. It's like we're breathing new life into these cultural treasures
Yeah.
that might otherwise be lost to time.
It is, and AI isn't just preserving the past, it's being used to make that cultural heritage accessible to a much wider audience.
Like using AI to create interactive virtual reality experiences of historical sites or museums.
Exactly. That allows people from all over the world to experience these cultural treasures without having to physically travel there.
That's really incredible. It's like democratizing access to cultural heritage and, promoting cross-cultural understanding.
It is, and it's not just about preserving these tangible artifacts. The article highlights the use of AI to translate languages, which makes cultural knowledge and stories accessible to a wider audience.
That's so important for preserving linguistic diversity and facilitating cultural exchange.
It is, and speaking of diversity, the article then shifts focus to the application of AI in construction and infrastructure, which is especially relevant for rapidly growing urban areas in the global south.
And this isn't just about building skyscrapers. It's about using AI to create smarter, more sustainable cities.
Exactly. The article talks about how AI-powered predictive analytics can be used to address pressing urban challenges, like housing shortages, traffic congestion, and inadequate infrastructure.
So it's about using AI to sort of plan ahead and anticipate problems before they become too big.
Precisely. AI can analyze data from all these different sources, like traffic patterns, population growth, environmental conditions, to help urban planners make better decisions about how to develop cities in a way that's both efficient and sustainable.
That's really fascinating. It sounds like AI is playing this crucial role in shaping the future of urban development in the global south.
I think it is. And that brings us to another really important aspect, highlighted in the article, AI's potential to promote social equity and inclusion. And this is a key theme that we'll explore further in the next part of our deep dive.
Great. We'll dive deeper into those topics and more when we return. Welcome back to our deep dive into AI and the global south.
Yeah, it's great to be back. We left off talking about how AI can help plan and build these smarter, more sustainable cities. But, the applications in this field, they go way beyond that.
Right, and I'm really intrigued by how the article frames AI as this potential tool for social equity and inclusion. Like, it feels like there's a real opportunity here to address some of these like deeply ingrained issues.
There really is. Think about how AI-powered platforms, they can analyze huge amounts of social and economic data to reveal patterns of inequality. And that can really help policymakers to make more informed decisions and, design interventions that are targeted at the people who need them most.
So we're talking about using data to inform policies that can, like, level the playing field.
Exactly. AI can also be used to identify and mitigate biases in existing systems, like, the systems used for hiring, lending, even criminal justice. This could help create a much fairer and more just society.
And that reminds me of something else the article touches upon, this idea of amplifying marginalized voices. Can you talk a little bit more about how AI might contribute to that?
Sure. Imagine AI-powered tools that can analyze sentiment and opinions that are expressed online, in online forums, social media, even traditional media. This kind of analysis can help surface the concerns and priorities of communities that are often overlooked in mainstream discourse.
So instead of relying on these traditional methods of gathering public opinion, which can be biased or limited in scope, we can use AI to get a more, like, comprehensive and nuanced understanding of what people are really thinking and feeling.
Exactly. And this information can be super valuable for policymakers, for advocacy groups, even businesses who are trying to understand the needs of their target audiences.
Yeah, it feels like AI is creating this new avenue for people to be heard, especially those who have, historically been excluded from decision-making processes.
That's a key point, yeah. AI has the potential to democratize access to information and, really give a voice to the voiceless.
Now, we're talking about using AI for good here, but, it's worth acknowledging that the article doesn't shy away from the potential challenges. Like, there are concerns about bias in algorithms and, the possibility of AI being used for surveillance rather than empowerment.
Those are very valid concerns, and it's really important that we address them head on. The way AI systems are designed and the data that they're trained on can reflect and even amplify existing societal biases.
Right. So if an AI system is trained on data that's already skewed, it could just perpetuate those biases and lead to unfair outcomes.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to have diverse teams of developers working on these systems, people who can identify and mitigate those potential biases right from the start during the design and development process.
It sounds like there's a lot of responsibility on the shoulders of AI developers.
There is, but it's not just about the developers either. We need clear ethical guidelines and regulations for AI development and deployment to make sure that these technologies are used responsibly and, for the benefit of all.
So it's like a collective effort.
Yeah.
Involving not just the tech industry, but also policymakers, researchers, and even the public.
Absolutely. Now, shifting gears a bit, the article also explores the role of AI in promoting gender equity, which is, such a crucial aspect of social justice.
Yeah, we touched on this a little bit earlier with the example of the AI-powered microloan platforms. But I'm curious to hear more about how AI is being used to empower women specifically.
Yeah, so one area where AI is having a really significant impact is in education. So AI-powered learning platforms can provide personalized educational experiences, adapting to individual learning styles and needs. And this can be especially beneficial for girls and women in regions where access to quality education is limited.
So we're talking about using AI to break down those barriers to education.
Yeah.
And create opportunities for girls and women to reach their full potential.
Exactly. And these learning platforms, they can also be tailored to provide training in STEM fields, which have traditionally been underrepresented by women. And, that can open up new career paths and economic opportunities.
That's really inspiring. Are there any other examples of how AI is being used to promote gender equality in the global South?
Oh, yeah, definitely. AI is being used to combat gender-based violence, which is, a global issue that disproportionately affects women and girls. So, for example, AI-powered systems can analyze data to identify patterns and predict areas where violence is more likely to occur.
So that could help law enforcement agencies allocate resources more effectively and potentially prevent violence before it even happens.
Exactly. AI can also be used to develop support systems for survivors of violence. Imagine AI-powered chatbots that can provide emotional support, connect survivors with resources, and even help them navigate legal processes.
It feels like AI is being used to address this issue on multiple fronts: prevention, intervention, and support, which is really encouraging.
It is. But again, responsible development is absolutely crucial. We have to ensure that these systems are designed with privacy and security in mind, and that they are actually accessible to the people who need them most.
Absolutely. Now, the article also talks about the importance of education and training to make sure that everyone has the skills they need to thrive in this AI-powered world.
That is such a crucial point. We often hear about, the potential for AI to displace jobs, but it's also important to recognize that AI is creating new jobs and opportunities. The key is to make sure that people have the skills and knowledge to fill those roles.
So it's not just about teaching people how to code. It's about fostering a broader set of skills, like critical thinking, problem solving, creativity.
Exactly. Those are the skills that are going to be in high demand in this AI-powered future. And we need to make sure that, those opportunities are available to everyone, not just a select few.
That makes me think about Shakti's story again. After she developed the Pravasi app, she went on to co-found this incubator called TechSpire to train young people in AI and data science. It just seems like a great example of the kind of initiative we need to see more of.
It is. We need to invest in education and training programs that are accessible to people from all walks of life, regardless of their background or location. We need to create pathways for people to upskill and reskill so they can adapt to the changing demands of the workforce.
And it's not just about technical skills. It's also about fostering this culture of innovation and entrepreneurship, to empower people to create their own opportunities in the AI-powered economy.
Precisely. And the article emphasizes the importance of inclusive innovation, ensuring that the benefits of AI are shared widely and that everyone has a chance to participate in shaping its future.
That brings to mind a question I had. The article mentions this concept of a global AI ecosystem. What exactly does that mean? And how does the Global South fit into that?
That's a great question. So the term global AI ecosystem refers to this interconnected network of individuals, organizations, and institutions involved in AI, involved in the research, development, and deployment of AI technologies. It includes everything from universities and research labs to tech companies and government agencies.
So it's this complex web of actors all contributing to the advancement and application of AI.
Exactly. And the Global South plays a crucial role in this ecosystem. As we've seen in this article, there's so much innovation happening in these regions. They're developing unique solutions to their own challenges, and they're bringing these new perspectives and ideas to the table.
But, historically, the narrative around AI has been dominated by a few powerful nations and corporations in the global north. So how do we ensure that the voices and experiences of the global south are heard and valued within this ecosystem?
That's a key challenge. We need to break down these silos that often exist between the global north and south and foster much greater collaboration and knowledge sharing.
So things like research collaborations between universities, funding opportunities for startups in the global south, even just creating platforms for dialogue and exchange of ideas.
Exactly. We need to create this more inclusive and equitable global AI ecosystem where the benefits of AI are shared widely and everyone has a chance to contribute to its development.
It sounds like we need to move beyond this model where AI is developed in the global north and then exported to the global south.
Precisely. We need a more collaborative and decentralized approach where AI is developed in and for the global south, taking into account the unique needs and contexts of these regions.
So it's not just about transferring technology. It's about building capacity and empowering communities in the global south to develop their own AI solutions.
Exactly. And that brings us to another crucial aspect highlighted in the article, the intersection of AI and cultural heritage. And we'll explore that fascinating topic when we return for the final part of our deep dive.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into AI and the global south.
It really has been an incredible journey, exploring the transformative power of AI in these often overlooked regions.
Yeah, we've covered so much ground.
Yeah.
From, AI revolutionizing access to essential resources, to its role in fostering social equity and empowering communities.
And I think one thing that's become really clear is that the Global South is actively shaping the development and application of AI, tailoring it to meet their specific needs and context.
Absolutely. And it's a great reminder that innovation, it really knows no boundaries. And oftentimes, the most impactful solutions come from, those who are closest to the problem.
Exactly. And this brings us to a topic that I think is particularly fascinating, the intersection of AI and cultural heritage. So the article highlights how AI is being used to preserve and revitalize cultural traditions in the global south in ways that were unimaginable just a few years ago.
Yeah, this really caught my eye too. It's like using cutting-edge technology to breathe new life into these ancient traditions and knowledge.
Exactly. For instance, the article talks about how AI is being used to digitize and restore ancient manuscripts and artifacts. These things are often fragile and deteriorating. And so just imagine being able to unlock the secrets that are hidden within these texts, bringing historical narratives and cultural insights to light for future generations.
It's like opening this window to the past. And it's not just about preservation either. It's about making this cultural knowledge accessible to a wider audience. I'm thinking about AI-powered translation tools that can make these texts available in multiple languages.
Yeah, breaking down those language barriers is absolutely crucial. So imagine, someone in rural India being able to read ancient Sanskrit texts in their native Hindi, or a student in Brazil accessing Mayan codices translated into Portuguese. It just democratizes access to this cultural heritage in such a profound way.
It's like we're creating this global library of cultural knowledge, where anyone, anywhere can connect with this rich tapestry of human history and tradition.
It's a beautiful thought. And AI's role goes even beyond text. The article also talks about how AI is being used to recreate traditional music and art forms, the ones that are at risk of being lost.
Yeah, I read about an AI system that was trained on traditional Irish folk music,
Yeah.
and it was able to compose these new pieces that sounded just like the original tunes. It was incredible.
That's really amazing. And it raises all these really fascinating questions about creativity and the role of technology in cultural expression. Is AI simply just mimicking existing forms, or can it actually contribute to the evolution of these traditions in new and unexpected ways?
That's a really deep question. And I appreciate that the article acknowledges that there are potential downsides here, concerns about the authenticity of AI-generated cultural content, and even the risk of homogenization or cultural appropriation.
Those are all very valid concerns. It's crucial that AI is used in a way that respects and honors the traditions it's interacting with.
And that means, involving the communities who are the custodians of these traditions
Hmm.
in the development and application of these technologies.
Absolutely. It's about collaboration, not imposition. And the article actually highlights examples where indigenous communities are working with AI researchers to ensure that their heritage is preserved and represented accurately.
Yeah, it's really about empowering communities to use AI as this tool to reclaim and revitalize their cultural identities in the digital age.
Exactly. As we kind of wrap up this journey through the world of AI and the global south, I'm really struck by the sheer diversity of applications we've seen and the just massive potential for positive impact.
It's been really inspiring to see how AI is being used to address these real-world challenges,
Hmm.
from improving healthcare and education to promoting financial inclusion and even preserving these incredibly rich cultural traditions.
And it's really important to remember that this is just the beginning. AI is constantly evolving and the potential applications are pretty much limitless. But as we move forward, we need to make sure we're prioritizing ethical considerations and ensure that this incredibly powerful technology is used for the benefit of all.
Absolutely. We need to be mindful of the risks and challenges,
Hmm.
like algorithmic bias and the potential for job displacement, but we also need to embrace the opportunities that AI presents to create this more equitable, sustainable, and just world.
And ultimately, the future of AI is in our hands. It's up to all of us to shape the trajectory of this technology and ensure that it's used to create a future we can all be proud of.
And on that note, as we conclude this deep dive, I want to leave you with a thought-provoking question. If we truly believe that AI has the power to change the world for the better, what role will you play in making that vision a reality?
That's a great question to think about. Thanks for joining us on this exploration.
It's been a pleasure, and to our listener, we encourage you to keep exploring the world of AI and its impact on the global south. The future is full of possibilities, and we're excited to see what unfolds.